Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel eddieinreadingland. My name is Eddie and today I'm bringing you the review of The Children of Ostara by Xia Hunt. Okay guys, let's get into the review because you guys know that I love to ramble and I love to talk about it. But first I want to talk about presentation. So if we go down to the camera, we're gonna see that the deck is presented in this beautiful box that it opens clam style, which I love. The deck does come. There we go. The deck does come in this beautiful bag, this beautiful green velvet bag. Actually, all of the tarot on the Children of the Wheel that she will be doing will be in these bags. I hope. Oh gods, I hope. And the Children of Letha has this same bag, but it's this very wine color red for Letha. But since this is Ostara and the deck is based on plants, we have green. And one of the most important thing is that the deck in the box, or actually I should say the box, does fit in the bag. And I love that because I've had issues with tarot that don't fit in the bag inside the box. And I don't like that. But I love this tarot, guys. So this is the only tarot that I've used during Ostara. I used it from Ostara to Letha. And I did use it for daily draws, but I'll go into that a little later. And here's the beautiful backs of the deck. Now, oh, and I have the certificate of authenticity. And for the Children of Ostara, even though it says Children of Letha, I am not sure. Oh, you guys are seeing my notes over here. Let me put this over here. You guys know that I have notes. It does come with this very helpful guidebook because honestly, guys, the plants that are represented in this deck are way too many for me to remember. And even though I do remember my some of the plants for most of the cards, I still can remember some of them. So so it is very helpful. It does have the information. I was just going to random one. So here we have the Three of Cups, and it does have the plant over here at the top, Sweet Pea, and it provides the meaning. And somewhere over here, it provides the reason why she chose that plant for the specific card. And it, to me, it aligned very well with the energy of the card on all of these guys, all of them. So I'm very happy about that. I do recommend that you read the guidebook for any of the decks that you buy. I do it myself. I enjoy reading and I enjoy learning about the process the artist went through and why they chose certain things for the depiction of the cards. So I love that. And I'm a bookworm, and you guys know that I'm a bookworm and I love reading. So moving on, here is part of the deck, and here is the very beautiful backs of this tarot. And actually also all of the tarot for the Children of the Wheel have the same back. And the idea is that you're able to pick and choose which cards you like better and create your own deck, which I think it's awesome. And I'm probably going to do that once all of the Children of the Wheel are released, which I'm hoping to be soon. I know that the next one that she will work on is the Children of Yule, but that'll be something somewhere else around the line. And I know, and you guys know that I'm going to buy that tarot because it's Xia Hunt and I love her work. But here we have the Strength card, and I also wanted to talk about cardstock. And I know that people don't enjoy this cardstock, but I do. It's a rose petal finish, and the cards are thicker, and they do hold their shape, and I love that. Now, I do not riffle shuffle the deck, so rose petal is not an issue for me. And oh, also the deck is edged in this black, which I adore. To me, it's much better when it's a matte color when it's gilding, because it just chips off. Whatever you do, it doesn't matter if you don't riff or shuffle the deck or not. It will chip off. So that's why I enjoy matte edging. It's better, it looks better, it lasts forever, and it doesn't chip off. And I love it. So here we have the Strength card, which is one of my favorite cards in... Actually, it's my favorite card on any tarot. That's not quite true. The Strength card is very important to me in tarot. My favorite Strength card is Lust by Aleister Crowley, painted by the amazing Lady Frida Harris. But yes, so I do want to talk about daily draws with this tarot because this tarot deck likes to provide jumpers. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some cards while I'm talking about the deck so that you get to see some of the beautiful cards that Xia made. And it also likes to provide 2 or up to 3 jumpers. It's very unusual for me to get jumpers on decks that are sized for my hands. I have very small hands. And this deck is actually pretty good. It feels really good in my hands. So it's very rare that I get jumpers because I'm able to grip the deck well and I'm able to shuffle it. But yes, this deck likes to give me jumpers. And I found that for daily draws, this deck actually does feel like plants. This deck likes to nurture you. This deck provides you with the resources in the form of emotional intelligence and insight to help you along your day and to move forward, which is what my daily practice is all about, and which is something that I really like when using a deck. It was a very emotional period for me when I used this deck. I have to admit that was, the period from Ostara to Letha has been very watery and very emotional. This deck helped me develop and grow. In aspects of my life that I really did have a lot of difficulty managing, I had to learn new processes to manage my emotional intelligence and also the reactions I was having for some things. My behavior hasn't been the best, and this deck helped me out a lot with that. And like I said, it does feel like a plant. You know how plant grabs nutrients from the earth and also from the sun, and they just grow and develop and they bloom. That is exactly how I felt using this deck. That whole process of growth and development, I felt using this deck. And I am very grateful for this deck for that. The other thing that I wanted to talk about this deck about, in daily draws is that the deck is not scared to tell you what your emotion is and what the consequences of reacting poorly to that emotion will be. And also quite the opposite. The deck is not afraid to tell you the emotion that you're feeling and how best to utilize that emotion throughout the day. And I love that. This turned out to be a more watery deck than I thought. I thought it was going to be a more earthy deck. Even though it did ground me, it did serve that purpose to ground me. It feels more watery. It feels more watery to me. It feels it likes to talk about emotions. It likes to talk about feelings, and I really appreciate that deck for that. Now, I do want to be very honest. I did not use this deck for client readings. I am not sure that I will use this deck for client readings. It felt too personal for me when I was using it for daily draws, especially for the emotional release and the emotional process that I had been working with this deck. So I think this is going to be one of my personal decks. Now, I wouldn't be opposed to reading for others using this deck. I have a feeling that this deck will actually read like the Children of Letha the sister deck for this one, for this tarot. I think it will have the same sort of feeling. I will talk more about the Children of Letha after Letha happens, guys. I will review that deck as well. But so I didn't use it for any other for clients or other people. This is it turned out to be a very personal deck, and that's fine. I don't have to use all the decks that I have to for clients or for others. Some decks I just keep to myself, and that's okay. The other thing that I wanted to talk about this is the artwork. It's just reminds me of how verdant everything was growing up in Costa Rica. So it's also very nostalgic for me. The heavy use of greens that's how daily life looks like in Costa Rica. If you ever walk anywhere in Costa Rica, you see a lot of greenery, and you're gonna see a lot of really vibrant colors. And this deck reminded me of that, and I rarely get to experience that using a deck. And the other one that I do experience something similar to is the White Numen Tarot by Alba Ballesta Gonzalez. I hope I have their name right. But yes, this deck is beautiful. This deck is elegant. This deck has the sea aesthetic that I love. This deck is colorful, and it's also a fantasy deck because most of these creatures, especially in the major arcana, are fae, fae-ish, fairy-ish beings, and I appreciate that. I usually don't like. Actually, I didn't see them as fairies per se. I saw them as the embodiment of the plant that they were meant to depict and represent. So I think that's why I was able to use this deck. I don't like using decks that depict fae and other fairy folk. It's an energy that I really don't enjoy working with. And the other thing that I wanted to say about the art of this deck, it's that sometimes when I was shuffling the deck and while I was doing my pre-focus ritual that I do for daily draws, I swear I could smell the greenery. The chlorophyll was coming out of this deck, and it was pretty fascinating. Because I know the deck doesn't smell like that, but I love how ritual and images can make you just reminisce and just almost smell something that it's very important to you, or actually for me, it's very important for me. So yeah, this is an amazing deck by Xia Hunt. Yes, she can't do any wrong by me right now. She is an amazing artist, and I love her art. But this deck was a joy to work with, and I'm happy that it turned out to be a personal deck. And you know what? Maybe I should make a point of using this deck for somebody else, but it will have to be somebody important, like my husband or my mom. And maybe I'll report back on you guys. But as in any case, one of the final things that I want to say about the deck before we go into the specific cards that I want to talk about is that this deck is better suited to evoke feeling instead of meaning. There's a lot of things that you feel when you see these cards, especially when you see two or more cards spread out on the mat or the surface that you're using for your tarot practice. The cards depict more feelings than they do meaning. Not that the cards don't have meaning, because they do, and they're heavy with symbolism. I mean, for goodness sakes, the fact that we have a specific plant or two or more to depict the energy of the suit of the pip, it's just amazing. But yes, I do find that this card. So if you are looking for a deck that you need a feeling to be evoked, I think that would be the perfect deck for you guys. Actually, I think that you need to purchase this deck regardless. It doesn't matter. It's a beautiful deck for your collection. Just looking at the images makes you feel so, out in the wild and so calm and very and blooming, and you can feel yourself growing and developing, and I'm just really happy that I got this deck, guys. Really, really happy. But okay, so moving on to specific cards that I wanted to talk about, and let's see. Here we have the World card, and here we have represented ivy, fern, and moss. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this card is because this is such an out-of-the-box world card for me. I have never seen the Maiden, the Mother, and the Crone in a world card, and it makes total sense to me. Xia talks about ivy being very representing youth and that feeling of everything that's new, and fern being this maturity that you gain with experience, and then moss being this connection that we all have and being the wisdom of that connection. And I found that it was fascinating because, yes, the world card is, in my opinion, about the ending of cycles and going through this new threshold. And the world also represents to me things that just are, that you have no power controlling. And this is something that you cannot control. Growing old is something that none of us can control. Now, we can put up a fight, and I know that I've been putting up a fight, but it's just so inevitable. Growing old and going through all of these energies from maiden to mother to crone. We're all gonna get there. People, and I include myself, have this fear of growing old, and this world card just takes away that fear. And I really appreciate that because it just makes it more real, and it makes it real without saying anything, but evoking and what's the word? Transmitting that in this picture. And I simply love that. Simply love that. So very appreciative for this world card. And moving on to one of the other cards that I wanted to discuss, and it's this Two of Wands. Now, this is Rowan and Heliotrope, and according to Xia, Rowan represents courage, and it represents a spiritual strength and visions, and Heliotrope represents prophecy and also longing, which is very fascinating for the Two of Wands. I do have to say that, and I think I said it in the video, the original video where I got this tarot and I unboxed it, which I will link down below, by the way, guys, so that you watch it as well. The Two of Wands, when Xia depicts them, they confuse me up until the point where I read the guidebook, and then I can see her process, and I can see why she chose the things that she chose. The axe, when I first looked at this card, I was like, why do we have an axe in the middle of this picture and being illuminated? But now I understand that it's because the axe is meant to represent you getting rid of the obstacles, so that you're able to move forward. And okay, so that to me, that's a very Two of Wands sort of feel, definitely, especially when we take in consideration the deccan meaning of the Two of Wands, and that being Lord of Dominion, and being being able to take charge in your own life and carve that path before you. Love the fact that both Rowan and Heliotrope represent both visions and prophecy, because that is a good way to transmit and depict planning in a way. I believe that planning is a form, it's a very healthy, it's a very healthy form of, oh, what is the word that I'm looking for? Not precognition, but I guess the word precognition is good. Forethought. That's the word that I was looking for. It's a very healthy way for you to have forethought, and because planning, even though it may not be perfect and it may not go your way, planning gives you a head start, and planning gives you a something extra for you. And I love that. I love planning. Planning is well, I mean, I'm very structured and I plan everything. I mean, you guys know that I have notes and stuff that I look at when I'm doing these videos. But yeah, so very thankful for this Two of Wands, which is showing me a different take and a different depiction. That's amazing. Thank you. Love this Five of Wands. This is black pepper, but and she says that black pepper is a strengthening energy, and protection, which is actually very good for the Five of Wands. But what captivates me about this Five of Wands is the fact that we have these really aggressive hands reaching out towards the sun. Yes, it's a more violent depiction of the Five of Wands. It does look to me that each one of these hands, not only is individual, they're an individual, but they seem to be gripping for the same thing, and they seem to be doing it without the knowledge that it's completely futile. And I love that. I am not a very competitive person. I enjoy the feeling of competition, but if I lose, it's fine, and if I win, it's also fine. It's a very complex feeling. It's not like I'm not trying to win, because I am. But if somebody else wins and I lose, then I'm very happy for them, and I guess that's not it's not a feeling that people share, or that they like to admit that they feel. We are so committed to winning, and our culture right now is so nailed in this: you need to succeed in life, and in order to succeed, you need to follow this very specific path, and you have to get rid of everybody else so that you're able to move forward. And I don't have that feeling, and this is what this Five of Wands is depicting for me. Exactly. It's a little scary, but it's very telling. And here we have the Eight of Wands, and before I complain that the wands are going down and not up, which is actually something that I don't like, and actually the children of Letha have the wands going up. Regardless of this, the Eight of Wands is both coffee and cinnamon, which are my two favorite stimulants ever. I love cinnamon in everything. Oh my gosh. Cinnabon is my favorite treat, and the smell of freshly brewed coffee in the morning, ambrosia of the gods. That's what that is. It just elevates me, and it literally changes my mood. Ask my husband. He's probably gonna put something funny around here somewhere. But yes, love the fact that we have two of my favorite things depicted in this Eight of Wands. Love it. Okay, so the Five of Cups. The reason why I'm showing you guys this is because I am so amazed and in awe of the grief and the sorrow that I can feel from this card, because this crying skull manage to put into perspective my own grief and that of other people. To me, when you're not okay, that is okay. Feeling sadness and feeling grief is not something bad. Yes, there are healthier ways to manage and cope with sadness and grief. Yes, this is true. This is true. But it's okay that you're not okay. And this is exactly what this image is portraying. Now, Xia does talk about Hyacinth being the chosen plant for this because of Hyacinth myth. I'm not really sure if you guys are very aware, but the myth goes, and this is very basic, how I interpret the myth, or how I'm going to tell you the myth. But Hyacinth was a prince, and both Zephyrus and Apollo were deeply in love with Hyacinth. They both desired him, and but Hyacinth was more in love with Apollo, and Zephyrus got jealous, and he summoned the wind, and the wind managed to hit Hyacinth. Actually, made Hyacinth stumble and then hit his head on some. I think it's a rock. I'm not really sure where, and he actually managed to kill Hyacinth. And from the tears that Apollo shed from the tears that Apollo cried, a purple hyacinth was born, and he did name it Hyacinth because of his now deceased lover. And I believe that somewhere in the myth, there's also something about the white hyacinth representing prayers and representing hope as well. So it's a very tragic myth, but I mean, it does go with this crying skull. It's almost as if this skull is the decaying, what's left, the remnant of Apollo, and Apollo is still crying for Hyacinth, and it's what's nurturing these flowers over here. So yes, very much love this Five of Cups. Okay, and the next card that I wanted to talk about is the Eight of Cups, and this is Bleeding Heart. And Bleeding Heart, I don't know what it was meant to represent, but and I did not write it down for some reason, so that's why I looked. I forgot. But regardless of what the intention was for the Bleeding Heart in this, this scene that we're seeing here is very soothing, calming, and very it evokes the feeling of escapism to me, because this is one of the places where I would want to go and read a book, and reading is one of my forms of escapism. And if I am able to go to this place while I'm reading, I would be very happy. This is a very makes me smile, because it makes me feel like escaping to it and reading there. Escapism can be healthy too. Reading is a very healthy form of escapism, and so is meditation, and so is walking. And I know that our culture doesn't like people, or the feeling of escape, but escapism can be also very healthy. Now, I know that it can also be very unhealthy. But sometimes, guys, we need an escape. We need to remove ourselves, and this card, this Eight of Cups, is exactly what it's giving me right now. Is that need to be by yourself, do something that you enjoy doing. In my case, is reading. I am walking. I like walking too, but reading just gives me a special pleasure that nothing else seems to do or to give me. Not even food, and not even sex. It's different. It's a different sort of pleasure that I get from reading. Okay, and moving on to, oh gods, this is my favorite card in this whole deck. I just love this Eight of Swords. This Eight of Swords is Kutsu, and as you guys can see, it's a Kutsu forest, and it just completely took over and enveloped everything in this beautiful green, teal green. Yes, I may be biased for that. But the whole premise of this card and Kutsu being such an invasive plant and just literally covering forests and buildings and suffocating them into this, it just exacerbates the meaning of the Eight of Swords so well. I love the skull here because there's death going on here under this whole living vine. There's ruins. And that feeling of chain and feeling of binding is portrayed so well in this card. And I actually did get this card a bunch on my daily draws. And I think that the reason why was because of the way that it made me feel. And even though, yes, there's a lot of suffocating plants here. Well, you can't see them because the kutsu is there, but it just gave me that strength and that power to break chains, to untie the bindings, whatever those were at that moment. It just filled me up with so much energy to do the right thing for myself and let go of the chains and let go of that bind, let go of that blinding lace on my eyes. It's my favorite card in this deck. And usually the Gemini Decans are not my favorite, and for various other different reasons, but it is for this deck, and I'm very thankful that I have this depiction of the Eight of Swords. This may be my favorite depiction of the Eight of Swords ever. So spoilers for the Eight of Swords favorite depictions, guys. Okay. Now we're moving on to the Two of Pentacles. And the reason why I wanted to show you this Two of Pentacles, and before I do that, or before I tell you the reason why, this is quince, and I've never had quince before. Apparently, it's a very yummy fruit, and it's meant to represent balance of projective and receptive energy, which works extremely well for the Two of Pentacles, especially if you want to weigh your options. That is amazing. But the only reason why I'm showing you guys this card is because this card is composition genius. Why? This is the card upright. This is the card reversed. This is the card look on this side to the left, and this is the card to the right. The composition of this card is perfectly balanced. The fact that we're able to see a balanced image, however we turn this card, is composition genius. I have rarely seen this in any painting or any art image or depiction, especially depictions on tarot. Love this Two of Pentacles because for that reason. If I wish I had the talent to do something like this with my composition when I'm creating art. This is elevated. This is elevated for me. This is art at its most elevated, in my opinion. Perfect composition. And I love the colors, by the way. I love the colors in the card. But yes, so that's the Two of Pentacles. And moving on to the Five of Pentacles. This is one of those other cards that I usually that I usually provide a more negative or darker meaning to. The Five of Pentacles to me is bad decision making. That's what it comes up for me when I'm doing daily draws. Did I even get this card for my daily draws from Ostara to Lisa? I don't think so. I may have. Yes, I did, because I actually posted it on Instagram. But it didn't... What I wanted to say about this card is that I love the winter scene. I love the winter scene, and I love the cypress on this card. I love the cypress being represented because this scene reminds me of living back in New Jersey. And until years later, I found out how bad our situation was financially when we were living in New Jersey. I was so small, I was so little, I wouldn't have been able to comprehend. But I'm so thankful for my mom to tell me that she told me, because I understood a lot of the events that happened in New Jersey. They were more informative and they were more understandable. That's the correct thing. This Five of Pentacles did not evoke a feeling of bad decision when I got it. I have a whole post about it on Instagram, so if you guys want to see that, I also have my Instagram down in the description down below. But there's this plenitude and there's this grace that I feel with this Five of Pentacles, and I am very grateful to have this in my collection and for it to give me a very new, very fresh perspective on the Five of Pentacles without losing that structure. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And here we have the Eight of Pentacles, and oh my gods, totally in love with this Eight of Pentacles. Very thankful that Xia gave us a spider, and I hope you guys can see the spider web. But as you guys can see, the spider web has this very awesome kaleidoscopic effect on the background, and oh my god, it's just so good, so well done. Love it, love it, love spiders. Spider energy for the Eight of Pentacles is my jam. I love that. I have actually drawn a spider for my Eight of Pentacles in the tarot that I'm working on right now. And also the plant that Xia chose for this Eight of Pentacles is oats. And we have been cultivating oats since we started farming back, gods, I don't know how many millennia ago. Very happy with this Eight of Pentacles. I think I've spoken a lot about this Eight of Pentacles in previous videos, so I just want to say that this is also one of my favorite depictions of the Eight of Pentacles ever. And yes, because of the colors, because of the spider, because of the oats and what they represent for humanity. Yes, just an amazing card. Amazing Eight of Pentacles. And here we have the last card that I wanted to talk about individually, and it's the Knight of Swords. This is the card that best represents me, in my opinion. This is my signifier. This is my this is me in the tarot. The Knight of Swords. Love the fact that it's mint, because mint is meant to represent intellect and looking for knowledge, searching for knowledge. And not only is mint also one of my favorite teas, and I love drinking it, I just love how active this knight looks. I love an active knight. I love that. Love that, love. And the fact that this knight is going to slay this mint dragon, even more so, because every time that you go and study or you do research on a topic that you're passionate about, that is exactly how it feels. Like it's like you're slaying this new thing, by learning all you can about it with enthusiasm and with a lot of I you know, it's just like, yes, it's a lot of it's very rewarding for me being such a studious person. It's very rewarding, the impetus that I feel from this Knight of Swords is very powerful, and I am very happy for the depiction of this Knight of Swords by Xia. Love the fact that it's mint. Not only does it smell good, it tastes amazing in tea. Just so good. But the other thing that I wanted to show you guys is that Xia also managed to, you know what, I'm going to leave this one over here, also managed to provide us with very diverse group of court cards. We see Middle Eastern people, we see Indian people, we see Muslims, we see indigenous people, we see Japanese people, we see other Asian cultures depicted in the court cards. We see indigenous people, we see brown people, we see black people, and by the way, that King of Swords is extremely sexually attractive. Thank you, Xia. We see red-haired people. We see a lot of different tribes being portrayed and a lot of culture in these cards. And I am thankful for Xia for doing that, because we need more representation. And yes, we need more representation, period. Nothing else. Nothing else. More representation, different cultures, different and different body types, different ages, different genders. Thank you, Xia. And thank you, guys. I'll leave you with this beautiful image over here of the Knight of Swords. Thank you for watching my review. I hope that you guys liked it. Let me know in the comments below what you think about it. Let me know if you agree with the things that I said about the cards, and or if you disagreed too. I would love to know. But let me know down in the comments below if you consider purchasing this deck. I will have the link for this deck in the description down below as well. Thank you, Xia, for giving us such an amazing deck. Really appreciate your talent and your artistry and your work. I will probably be your disciple from afar if you ever watch this. But thank you so much, guys. Bye bye, YouTube. I got a bucket full of sunshine. I got a love and now it's gonna feel my yo. The Emma Stone move. Ooh, do what you want, but you're never gonna break me. Sticks and stones, you're never gonna shake me, yo. Ooh, whoa. Take me away.